Okay, guys, let's talk about Xenoverse 3, guys. Okay, so this is a script. I'm just going to let you know now. What happened? An official Bandai Namco Entertainment YouTube channel, specifically the Southeast Asia regional account, briefly created a playlist titled Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 that included the teaser trailer for the mysterious Project Age 1000. That playlist was later deleted, but was spotted and captured by fans before it was removed. Screenshot captures of that playlist, which directly used the name Xenoverse 3, spread rapidly online, and gaming news outlets pointed out that it was most likely a leak. See, that is crazy. Some official people accidentally said, yeah, Xenoverse 3 is real. So, with that being said, guys, I just want to get into it. Who is coming from Xenoverse 2 to Xenoverse 3, and who's being left behind? Because we do know that Xenoverse 1, all characters, all DLC characters were ported from Xenoverse 1 to 2. But the thing about Xenoverse 1 to 2 is that Xenoverse 1 only had about 2 DLCs total. They had the GT DLC, and then they had like the Revival of F DLC. And I think that's actually it. Now, Xenoverse 2 had like 14 different DLC packs, bro. Like, so many. Hold up. So I just looked it up online, and yeah, 16 major DLC packs. That was very close. I said 14. But this is the thing, right? Going from Xenoverse 1 to 2, yeah, they had 2 different packs, and that was free content for Xenoverse 2 players who has the base game. That's easy, that's understandable, and the characters were literally story characters. Xenoverse 2 has some what-if characters in the mix, but let's just say there is many different packs, like Super Packs 1 through 4, Extra Pack 1 through 4, Ultra Pack 1 through 2, Legendary Pack 1 through 2, Cotton City Vote Pack, Hero of Justice Pack 1 and 2, Future Saga Chapter 1 through 4, 16. Now, the larger collection versions of that is the Super Pass, the Extra Pass, the Ultra Pack set, Legendary Pack set, Hero of Justice Pack set, Future Saga Pack set. Now, that is 10 years worth of content, but yet we're not done. There are free updates. In addition to paid DLC, the game has received multiple free updates, balance patches, new skills, raids, costumes, and Festival of Universes content. So, with that being said, now we understand just how many different DLC packs are added, but how many characters is that? Way more than Xenoverse 1 and 2, that's for sure. So, are we even going to be able to, like, get all those characters for free from 2 to 3? I don't know, I kind of doubt it, bro. It's too many. Too much free content, and companies nowadays don't really like free content. So I just got done looking it up online, and there are literally 45 paid DLC characters in Xenoverse 2. And the main roster plus the DLC roster together equals anywhere from 120 to 125 characters. That's a lot of characters, but specifically that's a lot of extra characters to put in the game. So are we going to be getting all of those 45 DLC characters in Xenoverse 3? I don't think so. And I think the easiest ones to go ahead and count out are like what if characters, like the Super Saiyan God, Super Villain Vegeta. You know, characters like that is quite literally just what if. And I don't see us getting that for free. I can see them repurposing that as another DLC in the game, kind of like how I was gonna say like Street Fighter, but I hope they're not gonna pull a Street Fighter. They're notorious for like taking out actual characters that matter and then adding them later. We don't do that. We don't rep that in Dragon Ball. Not usually. But I am looking at you, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. But Vegito, I believe, was a DLC character, which is so wild. Now, who even talks about that game? But anyways, yeah, I think there's certain characters we're not going to get just because they're not going to just create these new designs for Xenoverse 3's art style and, you know, give us these characters as super villains and stuff like that. So we'll get into it here soon, but I want to go through each character I think we won't get. Who is getting cut? Let's begin. First one out of the list is Android 21. Now, I don't know much about the story of Xenoverse 2 anymore because all these DLC packs have their own story. I don't know if Android 21 is part of that, but if she isn't, I could easily see her being cut simply because Fighters have kind of ran its course as being like the coolest Dragon Ball game out there. And Android 21 just doesn't really have much of a picture in Dragon Ball because Fighters was her game as a debut, And if they were to, sell her to us later at a later date in Xenoverse 3, then that would make sense because she is a cash grab for those who want her in the game. But as far as just giving her to us for free in Xenoverse 3, I can see her being cut because her importance in the relevancy is just non-existent to me unless she is in the DLC story. Number 2 is going to be PyCon. The reason I'm saying PyCon is because he honestly is only in the game for cool points, and he's kind of like a buffer DLC character at that. He's not really like the main person to ever come for, and at the end of the day, they gave one of his ultimates is the same as Piccolo's. They're not even the same race of people, but they gave him the reverse makakabasakaka, whatever, and it's kind of crazy. Like, they gave him an extra ultimate just to give him something. He's not really the one you go for. People only like to see him for Hyper Tornado and Thunder Flash, and that's really it. He's not that special. He's not that strong. He's not a very picked character. He's kind of fodder, unfortunately. And that's why I think he won't be in the game. Another one, number 3, is going to be Vegeta GT. And at the end of the day, he's literally just Vegeta, just another version of him, and he's not even that special. He has Super Saiyan, and I don't even think he has Super Saiyan 2. He might, but I don't think he does. He had to win a vote. The fans had to choose for him to show up in the game instead of another character. I forgot who he was up against. I want to say, I don't know honestly, but he was the most popular out of the 3. And he has a very basic attack pool. He has like explosive waves, super Gallic gun, final shine attack. Guess what? GT Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta has the same moves, and guess who else has that? Super Saiyan God Vegeta. It's literally just another form of Vegeta. He's kind of just a buffer character as well, so I can see him not being in the game too. Gohan from Superhero, I can see him not necessarily not being in the game, but just him not being like a completely different character. I can see him being a different costume for adult Gohan, but not a whole different character. He could just easily be phased in as another costume change with potential unleashed. Hopefully they'd still do that in Xenoverse 3, because I do appreciate those different costumes, because in my opinion that makes a character completely different, new transformations, new skills, all that good stuff. So we're going to see. But these other characters, so this is number 5, I believe. I just want to say these other characters, I'm not saying they're not going to be in the game, but I feel like if they are going to be in the game, they might be paid DLC, or they just might be phased in with another character. But I don't think they'll be free on release. Number 6 is going to be Videl from Dragon Ball Super. I honestly didn't even know she was in the game. Like, I don't understand why Videl even has a fighter slot as a Dragon Ball Super character, because she doesn't even fight in Dragon Ball Super. So it's kind of throwing me for a loop right now that why she's even in the game. So I can see her being another costume at max. I think that's all there is to say about that. Number 7 is going to be Broly Restrained. Now, I'm not necessarily saying he's not going to be in the game, but I do feel like he'll be phased in as a Broly, different version. And maybe Xenoverse 3 will finally make it to where you can transform into a form that completely changes the look of your character, like a Super Saiyan going to Super Saiyan 4, and like Restrained Broly going to Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, instead of having him as a regular singular character. Because that's something that Bojack, why isn't Bojack's powered up form not in the game? That doesn't even make sense. He's a DLC and we paid for that. So I hope Xenoverse 3 can do something about that. But if it makes it to where your character can't be in a cutscene, then I don't want that. So if it has to change up the fact that your character can't be in a transformed state while entering a cutscene, then I'd rather have it left out than added, to be honest. But yeah, Broly Restrained is number 7 or 8, I don't know. So this is where we get into what if territory. So Vegeta Super Saiyan God Ultra Super Villain. I think it's a little bit of a no-brainer why he's not going to be in the next game, at least not for free, because he is quite literally what if territory. And even though he has a really cool move in Final Rampage, I think that he's just going to naturally be DLC, because he's not in the real story of any kind of Dragon Ball continuity, and they don't have to give him to us. And he's such a cool character. He's such a cool character that I think they're going to save him for the dollars. And same thing with Goku Black Super Saiyan Rose Ultra Super Villain. He's such a cool character as well. Divine Ray Bomb. I've never seen that move. I really want to see it, to be honest. Sudden Death Beam sounds really cool too. But at the end of the day, I can just see him being DLC later on, because those are really, like, that's what if territory, literally. Like, we're playing Dragon Ball superheroes at this point. So, yeah, that's funny. Okay, so that's one. And I think that's about 10 characters now, I believe. So, I'm going to say God of Destruction Belmont. I could see them adding him to the game for free, but I could also see them really restricting him from the game for free, simply because he's not necessary to add in any Dragon Ball game. He is basically the next God of Destruction you would want to play as, other than Beerus, because who wants to play as Champa when he's literally just a clone of Beerus, and probably a weaker one at that. No, Belmont is kind of like the number 2 God of Destruction that anyone would ever want to play as, and I could see him being added to the game, but I could also see them restricting him from the game for free just to package him as DLC later. That's number 11. And following up with the non-canon stuff, Jiren Full Power Ultra Supervillain. That is so crazy. Full Power Destruction. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds so cool, but once again, I can see them having that as DLC. Because once again, they added 45 new characters to the game through DLC. More than likely, they are going to pull a little bit of a Street Fighter and say, some of these characters we're going to sell back to you next game because we can and we know you'll pay for it. And it might even be worth it. And yeah, so that just makes sense in my opinion. Well, let's continue. You already know what I'm going to say about Golden Frieza Ultra Super Villain. But at the end of the day, Chaotic Time Impact is a crazy cool move and I really want to see it. But I can see him being on the chopping block just so that he could be released as DLC later. Hopefully not though, to be honest. It's so cool. So yeah. Demon God Demigra. That's kind of a hard one. That's really a hard one. Dang, bro. Are they? I think he's going to be canon. I think they have to like put him in Xenoverse 3 for free. Demigra was supposed to be added like a long time ago. He should have been like in the original Xenoverse 2, because the story of Xenoverse 2 kind of felt like it didn't end in general, and you could tell that it didn't because literally the DLC packs made their own story. So that makes sense to me. And they pretty much finished it apparently, because they got Mirror's final form as well. And I don't know about either of these characters. I'm going to look them up right now. I'm pretty disappointed in myself. I forgot these characters looked like that, I guess. I don't know what I was thinking. I've seen these characters. I beat these characters. I thought they were different DLC packs. Like different DLC packs that I never paid for them, but I've seen these characters. I defeated these characters. So if they're in the DLC story, then I haven't beat them. I haven't encountered them again, but I've seen and beat both of them before. Like, that's not new to me. So anyways, guys, those are the characters I believe are going to be scrapped, and all the other DLC characters, I do believe that they will be added for free. So, like, you know, like the ones that are actually in the story that like actually matter, you know. So as an example, Fuzamas Half Corrupted, regular Fuzamas, Broly from Dragon Ball Super, you know, Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima, and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta from Daima. I believe that those characters and all other relevant characters are going to be added. I was thinking like on the fence of Android 18 from Dragon Ball Super, but if anything, I think she'll just be Android 18 and then she'll be a costume of Android 18, because she really doesn't change in all that time. She still uses a Destructo Disc. Instead of her ultimate strike could be like one with Krillin instead of one with 17. That's a difference that could be made. And you know, like Orange Piccolo and his, with Power Awakening, Gohan Beast, you know, the Gammas. I believe that, you know, those characters will be added for free, like Ultra Instinct Goku, signed and perfected, Dispo, like Kale, Caulifla, all these Gogetas, Vegetos, Super Saiyan Blues. If anything, they might go from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan Blue, and it might not be like its own transformation. It might be like a line, you know, instead of Blue being its own transformation, like I said, or them having that be a character in its own right. That it might be a transformation. Who knows how they're going to treat transformations in the new game? That's a whole conversation on its own. Like, what do we think is going to happen? because a lot of these transformations are DLC. If it's not Super Saiyan, and some, you know, like a race specific transformation in like Potential Unleashed or Kaioken, then it's a DLC transformation, and it's kind of it was added while the game was still progressing. But Xenoverse 3 can turn it on its head and make all of these Beast being a transformation. That is his own, obviously, just like Potential Unleashed. But we're gonna have to see how they handle transformations. But yeah, guys, I believe that in Supreme Kai of Time, I think they'll add her for free. I do believe so. I don't see why they wouldn't. Maju is one I would think they would add for free. Ultimately, he's not really all that important, and I don't think I'd pay for him again because he's really not that important. He's not that special. He's not that unique. He's just another character. You know, Ribrianne, Super Saiyan God Vegeta evolved, regular Super Saiyan God Vegeta, you know, Broly Full Power Super Saiyan, all that. Super Baby 2, Fu. I think all of these characters are going to be free in the next game. Jiren, obviously, he's definitely going to be for free. But Tapion, I didn't say. I think he's one that's actually going to get cut because once again, he's not relevant. He is a movie character. He's not all that cool. Like, he's cool to me, but as far as like, I don't think he's important enough for them to like, what is it called? Develop to make him a part of the game. He might be released as DLC later on as well. Android 13, I don't know how I skipped over him, but if Android 13 comes to the next game, then we're going to need his transformation as well. I'm not accepting Bojack without his transformation anymore. I'm not accepting Android 13 without his transformation anymore. I do believe Deborah is going to be added to the game. Majin Buu Gohan Absorbed is kind of a hard one because they sure did release him as DLC. I think they'll release him as free next time. He's really not that special. He literally has Super Kamehameha as an ultimate, and he doesn't have another ultimate. He could have used Super Ghost Kamikaze Attack, so it's really strange that they didn't like do that for him. I don't appreciate that at all. Zalmas is definitely going to be free. Rose Goku Black's going to be free. Vados needs to be free. Champa needs to be free. Kaba Frost needs to be free. I think everyone else will be free, but that's what I think. Those are my thoughts, guys. So let me know how you guys feel about it and what you think is going to happen in the new Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 3. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you later.